Hey, what's good, barbecue family? It's your boy Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q, and today we kicking off spring around here, if you can't tell, and we're gonna do a good old-fashioned car wash. Everything in the backyard must get clean. It's about time to get some cooking going, but before that, let's put in the work.
At the music, you have seen the finished product, but when I tell you I got a lot of work on my hands, I got a lot of work on my hands. This is a big car wash day. I'm about to take the time to get my spring cleaning in. I got all my grills out. My little homie right here, which I don't show too often because I don't have it off too often, but I can do pieces on here, so I had that out. But I got to get that one cleaned out. Everything is dirty. And at its dirty is my pellet grill here, nice and dusty, dirty. Just got everybody out the cover. A lot of these was recently cooked in, so they still fresh and dirty. So like I said, you gonna see it all. Walk with me, talk with me. I gotta get my Blackstone cleaned up. It wasn't that bad, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a nice little scrape and give it a fresh oil down and everything. And if anything, give it a good scrub and get some of that dirt off the sides. But I gotta get my Blackstone cleaned up. My prep table here is dirty as heck, as its cover got torn, so I need to get another one of those. So it's been taking the brunt of the elements. So on top of some grease and everything, this thing is dusty and dirty, so that's got to get cleaned up. My baby Weber, which I hardly ever use, this thing sits uncovered. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a nice quick spiffy job and get it respectful. A lot of time that's like my extra burn pot. What I probably put more cooks on nowadays than anything here is my big old banana. It's my little girl's grill right here. The old Weber 70th anniversary edition. Let's give it some TLC. You can see it looking pretty nasty up in there. Lots of fresh asses. And then we gotta come over here and tackle the daddy. I ain't did a deep cleaning on this one in a while. My rims ain't touching no water and shit. Oops, I mean shoot. Dang near, I don't know, 6-8 months or something like that since I really cleaned them up. Inside I've been in there not too long ago, but it's definitely time to get a clean out again, get this all cleaned out, get all the grease out the bottom, flush it clean through. And more than anything, I had ran out of mineral oil, so it'll be good to go ahead and get a nice fresh coat of mineral oil on here. I think I'm going into about year 4 with my Lone Star, so I mean it's still holding on good, but I need to give it some TLC, spray down these grates just to give them some love, and make sure I don't get too much rust. And I did see a little bit that was trying to start right in here on this groove, but nothing too crazy and nothing that the mineral oil won't take care of. But we got to get some cleaning in, so I'm about to let you see everything nice and dirty. Thinking about it, trying to be somewhat systematic. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this baby for last, because this thing gets nasty when I got to get all that grease out of here. I don't really got to worry about that on none of the other grills. So I'm thinking I'm gonna start with what I think is the easiest, which would be both of these Webers. Let's knock out the little homie. We'll come over here and knock this one out. We'll go over there and actually, you know what? I take that back. Let's go over there and knock out that Blackstone. All right, so let's get started with this thing. I basically got me a little bit of that simple green solution over here, 50-50 more or less. No, it really isn't. Way more water in there than simple green because I had to concentrate it, but we made us a batch of that there. I'm about to get everything nice and wet, and then we're gonna give it a little bit of a scrub. Okay, and now all I'm gonna do is give this thing a nice little bit of scrub with that simple green and water solution, and then hell, we rinse it back off. Don't want to go too hard. I mean, I got a brush right there with no hard bristles, but at the end of the day, this is a material that can probably scratch pretty easy, so you can end up with a lot of scratch marks. So at least try to go too hard one way, one direction, so it doesn't look too crazy. And I would say don't go too hard. I'll probably just go ahead and use the back of my sponge, and that'll probably be just good enough for me. The hardest portion is done. We at least gave it a nice little scrub. Like I said, I used the back side of the old sponge, so it didn't do too much on scarring or scratching too much or anything like that. So now it's looking nice and ashy. I still need to rinse this thing off. So some of this is that soap scum. Get that up off of here. Maybe give it a quick little one last scrubbing and one more rinse through, and then I'm gonna dry everything off, and I'm gonna get this a nice coat of mineral oil on all of these black surfaces to kind of get that cool, and then we're gonna fire this thing up, and then we'll take care of this top. All right, we rinsed down. Let's dry this baby off. We are dry, and as you can see, we are respectfully clean on these here surfaces. So that's mainly what I was going for, at least to get them smooth. They was a little greasy, a little gritty, whatever. But now I'm about to just come over the top. I got a towel that I keep with a little container that I keep here with the mineral oil is what I kind of mix with. This was a microfiber towel that usually keeps a lot of that juice in there, so that's why I kind of keep it in here separate and put it in the bag. But we'll give it a nice wipe down and sheen it up nice and pretty. All right, now I just want to show you just a little bit of what that mineral oil can do instantly. Look at that. You see just that instant even up that it do. Turn that into like brand new right there. Quick wipe. Nothing crazy, just a little mineral oil. I squeeze it out, and then the rest of it sits in that container, and then I can actually go ahead and dip back in here when I need to replenish. But then after that, the reason I keep this all in the bag is this rag stays pretty moist, and a lot of times when I open my Lone Star up or when I first get my grills out, I always get my wipe down after I get a clean rag on there with some water. I give it a quick little bit of shot of mineral oil with just this, just to keep them protected and looking nice. I'm gonna wipe the rest of this down. I'll let you see what it look like. And just like that, that body right. We got our body right? Nice and cleaned up, nothing too crazy. Like I said, a little degreaser, simple green, a little scrub down with the old sponge, and now just a little bit of mineral oil over the top. So body-wise, looking good. This was past due, super needed. Get that done. My top isn't too bad, but I might have, I can see here just some sediment and stuff on here. I'm gonna turn this on, get it nice and hot, get some water on here, scrape it good, and give it a nice wipe down, and get a little bit of tallow on top, and this will be done. And in the interest of time, while this is getting hot, which I can see it's already getting hot, it's about time for me to fill up that propane tank again. Let's go ahead and get this sprayed down. This won't take long at all. Like I said, a lot of dust on here, a little bit of some grease and everything on here as well, but that's gonna come off real easy. Same thing, using that simple green with the sponge. But first things first, let me just knock off the top layer of dust with just a good spray down, and then we'll come back to that griddle to knock out that top. I tell you what, the majority of that was dust. As you see it, it's a lot cleaner already. You can see the spots where the grease was on here that grabbed all that extra dirt. They're gonna come off of here real easy off of that stainless steel, but a majority of this was still some dust. It's still some of that is ingrained in here, being in Arizona with all this good dust that we get around here. So I'm gonna give everything a scrub down real quick, fast. We'll get another spritz down, and the same thing, I'm gonna come over the top with just the vinyl areas with the mineral oil. Simple enough. We got it clean, we got it rinsed, dry this thing down, and then like I said, we'll hit the vinyl areas with a little bit of that rag with the mineral oil already on it. We just gonna wipe the top clean. I do got some stainless steel spray, but I won't have to worry about it. It'll look pretty good. But we're gonna wait for a second. This has been screaming. I see a tornado went up with a little bit of this heat, so that's good. I can tell it's already somewhat dried up this surface a little bit. Got rid of some of that stuff that was on here. Now I'm about to hit it with some hot water and scrape this thing right up with my old scraper. Let's get it out. Just enough to kind of cover this thing up. I'm gonna let it boil just like that. See all that little bits? Gonna get all that stuff up off of here. I'll be able to come over the top and give me a deep scrape, and I want to get all of that off. A nice deep scrape and get all of that off. It worked out about perfect. I have scraped this thing down. As you can see, I got it nice and ashy. Literally just ran out of propane, so perfectly. Now I'm just about to come back over it with just a regular rag with some water and just wipe this thing down, get off the rest of this little bit of gunk and stuff, and just get down to a nice clean surface. Much better. Now we're gonna finish it out with this last step. I got me a little bit of tallow. We're just gonna grab a paper towel and oil this baby up nice and pretty. A nice little bit of oil on the top. We clean all the way through. Blackstone, got a little bit of love. I'm gonna let you sit on out, and we're gonna go ahead and dry this baby off and get that with a little bit of mineral oil on the vinyl. That is a wrap. A little mineral oil on the vinyl cleans up everything real nice. And I did decide to go ahead and throw a little bit of glass cleaner on top just to kind of clean up that stainless steel a little bit. But this one is nice. We are on to the next. Losing daylight, we moving on, and I'm gonna start with my little pellet grill here, my little Green Mountain grill. We're gonna do the outside pretty much last. First things first is let's get this guts broke down. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape this thing down pretty good, take out these racks, and then we'll remove that aluminum foil, vacuum seal, or vacuum everything out, and kind of show you what it looks like on the inside. Front and back of those grill grates is cleaned off. They actually look a lot better even from afar. Still need to wipe them off. Just popping out this old drip plate. I always cover with aluminum foil unless I plan on going screaming high, because this thing will burn up with like if it goes like 450, 500. Let me swap this out. So this pretty much is already ready. We'll take out this deflector box right here, which allows it to kind of more or less deflect the main heat coming out of that firebox directly under there and kind of make it more even throughout. And then we can vacuum this whole thing out, and I'll check to see if there's any main spots I need to get in here and kind of dig out some grease. We go. Definitely was ready for a clean out. I see lots of old soot in here, dirty firebox. Doesn't look like too much grease in here, but definitely a whole lot of good scraping to do. I got the perfect tool for that. Yeah, I think I'll use this one right here. And then let's get the vacuum in here. Okay, with the help of my assistant, I have been in here scraping away, just trying to work down those walls, work down the grease in that there trough, along with this trough and this trough. So basically everywhere where your grate sits. And as you can see, it's pretty dusty and dirty in here. Not that it needs to look absolutely pristine, but it's a lot that needs to come out. So next I'm coming in with my shop vac, and it's time to clean this thing out. All right, still smoking. Got out all that gunk that was in here. Like I said, it don't need to be perfect, but needed to get rid of all that ash. Now I'm gonna start putting my components back in here one by one. Alright, we got everything replaced. Took a towel and just gave it that last wipe over there on those grates. Inside's looking pretty good. I'm not too worried about this now. Let's close it up and let's get to this dusty exterior. First things first, I still got some more of that simple green and water, and we're just gonna go ahead and just give it a good scrub all the way around. Easy enough. A little scrub down. Got that stainless steel, as you can see, fighting back with a little bit of shine. Now let's go ahead and get this rinsed off lightly and all dried up. Our wash is coming together with the help of somebody special. I'm teaching her young and getting her right. This will be my May's little other grill right here. This will be her first pellet grill. She already got the banana hammock over there. We're gonna clean this one up nice. And then the same thing we've been doing. I'll hit that with a little bit of stainless steel on the stainless steel. I'll hit that with a little bit of window cleaner, and then we'll get a little bit of the mineral oil on that rag that's already damp on all of the black surfaces, and we should be ready to rock.
Team, I want to jump in here real quick and let you know thanks for following along on today's clean. And if you haven't done it already, go to that bottom right corner. Make sure you subscribe, support the channel. Find me on Facebook, IG, and TikTok. And get back here next week for another good one. Come on.
Jackpot. This thing is cleaned up. We got the mineral oil on all the surfaces. We got a little glass cleaner. As you can see that shine on that stainless steel. Little baby did a great job helping me out with this one. The baby pellet grill is done, and we're moving on to the big one. Day 2, literally
Over a week later, man, welcome to my life. We have had some storms, so I had to wrap some stuff up and come back out here. We've had a whole lot of life getting away. This baby's been rained on, I think, 2 times. So it's looking pretty dirty over here, but just like that, let's get back in here and get to work. We're going to knock this thing out pretty much like we did the other one. To start, we're going to start with the inside, which is pretty nasty. Show you to you at its absolute worst. All we're going to do is the first things first. We're going to go ahead and scrape down these grates on both sides, get them out of here, remove that aluminum foil, empty out the remainder of the parts inside of here, and then I'll let you see what things look like before we scrape things down and give it a vacuum. Yowzer. When I tell you this thing was ready, it is ready to be cleaned out. Look at that. Fire pot is a mess. Lots of dust in here. We got the rest of the stuff out of here. Put a new piece of aluminum foil on. But we're going to do some basic clean out things that I will throw out. And I got full maintenance videos on all of these, so I won't dive too deep into here. But make sure you always catch that grate where your, catch that little tray where your grate sits. That usually gets nice and oily. So we'll make sure that we kind of come in here and get at a little TLC and wipe that out with a rag. Obviously, we'll vacuum out all of the ashes, and then also here where your tray, where you collect, I'll also scrape that down, get that back nice and smooth, so that way I got a nice clean open spout, so I can get everything out of here as far as grease. But then also, that can also end up getting you a grease fire later on when your grill gets hot enough. So we're going to scrape all that stuff out, vacuum all this stuff out. I'll see you back here in just a second. All right, we got the insides respectful, got all of them clumps up out of here. I got my trays there wiped down a little bit, scraped down the inside. Not too crazy. The only thing that I didn't do in here, I'm about to put back in everything, and we'll start on the outside. I need to go grab some oven cleaner, and I've learned that I'm not even going to mess with that thing, man. I oven clean it. Both of these, that one here is so black you can't even see it, but that's the indoor light. And after a few minutes I can wipe that off, and then I'll wipe it back off with some water. I'm not too worried about it. At the end of the day, let's get the components back in. Man, this is gonna light up a lot faster, I'm sure, and it will definitely get out some clean smoke. This is done. I'm gonna get the top down. Let's go ahead and get this thing a mean rinse off, and we're gonna start cleaning up this outside. Okay, we're gonna attack this thing with the exact same solution that we had before, which was simple green, a little bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid, or just some dishwashing liquid, and we're gonna go ahead and give this a nice little scrub with the soft side of the sponge all over. We got that all cleaned up. A lot of that dirt and grease is off of here, as you can kind of see. It's a little bit more smoother, a little bit of soap scum left. We'll rinse this back off, we'll dry it off, and then we'll come back and finish it with that rag with that mineral oil on it. Close. We close. Now watch the difference when I hit it with this rag. Okay. Like a brand new penny, you can see this baby is shining. That mineral oil will cover up any of your imperfections. And also, man, you know, over time, especially I'm out here in this Arizona sun, even though I keep this thing covered up, that sun will beat on it. The soap will wear out on the material. And eventually your stuff just doesn't look like that full, beautiful look. But it's just like when you put a little Armor All on your car, everything is now looking good, looking pretty. And man, I have to look up how long I've had this. I want to say roughly 6 to 7 years later, I'm still clean as I want to be. We done with that one. Let's move on. We're going to get on over here to these Webbers. We'll start with the little homie right here. This should be a quick and easy one, respectfully. This one has no cover, so it's sitting out here super dusty. It has not had a deep clean since the last time when I actually did the maintenance video on this Weber. So it's been some years. So inside, while I hardly ever use this, really isn't too bad. A lot of times I might use this if I'm burning some extra coals or something like that, or wood. But we're gonna go ahead and give it a little TLC. I'll scrub off the grates back and forth on both of those. Scrub out the bottom and the inside of this bowl. Everything else on here, a little bit of scrape out the top, get rid of some of that. Isn't too bad. We'll give it a nice rinse off once we do all of that, and then we'll mineral oil it. This one should be quick. Easy enough, and like I said, I'm not gonna go too crazy on this one, being that I hardly ever use it, but at least I keep it respectful. One thing, as you can see, starting to rust out a little bit on that bottom grate that normally takes on that fire and everything. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back in. I'll close the bottom off, and we'll spray off the whole grate and let it get a little bit of love on the inside, and then we go ahead and rinse it off. Just like that. Now let's cover it up.
close it down, and rinse it off. Simple green, a little bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid, and that sponge. Let's go. This already looks a hell of a lot better. Now we're gonna get a little rag to it, dry this thing off, mineral oil to top. This one's a wrap. That was an easy one. Quick, fast, and easy, shining like white diamonds, and we rolling straight on to my good old banana. This baby is dirty like all the rest of them you done seen. We're gonna do the exact same thing we just did on this other Weber. Starting with these grates inside and out. I can definitely see a nice looking sheen of oil in there as this one gets used regularly. Won't have to worry about probably spraying these down too much, but we'll clean out the insides and then we'll spray this thing down after getting rid of all these ashes. And I had some camera malfunctions, so I'm fast forwarding through as I already done cleaned out the inside of this one here. This is my old banana hammock. This baby's still nice and dirty, as you can see all of that good stuff all over the top, but I have already went in the inside, scraped it all down, got everything out. I got to remove my ash pan at the bottom, and other than that, this one's good. I'm not going to worry about oiling it up. I can see a lot of oil still in here. Once it gets that first cook in, a lot of that will kind of burn up along the way. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up, close down all of these holes, and we're going to go ahead and empty off the ashes at the bottom and give this dirty hammer a good old-fashioned rinse. Got the baby all wetted up. Let's go ahead and grab that sponge, soft side, and simple green, along with the water and the dishwashing liquid. Should be able to get us back to respectful. Much better. Got most of that stuff up off of there. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this thing out and then re-empty back out that pan, as I know it's gotten some water in it. We'll rinse it off, and then it'll be ready for a little bit of that mineral oil. Had to bring you back because I tell you what, man, this thing all cleaned up. It looked good. I ain't even put no mineral oil on here, but this baby ain't got too many scratches and nothing like that on here. It's still pretty crisp. Let's wet him up. Another one down. Banana is cool and ready to rock. We'll get this thing wrapped up soon enough. We got one last whip. Let's bring back out the Big Daddy. The final boss. I left this one because it is the biggest. It's got the most things that needs to be cleaned. It's been a little bit. Shouldn't be too bad in here, but the other thing is, a lot of times when I'm cleaning this thing out, the rag that I might use or whatever I end up using on the inside, I just toss it away. So whatever end up being the last and the worst of the worst will just get tossed, and at least everything will be taken care of. This thing is nice and ashy. I haven't got no mineral oil in a long time on it. I actually haven't cooked on this baby in a minute, so it's more than time for me to start a fire. Open it up. A little bit of leftover coals like normal. A little bit of cleanup. Alright, you know the drill. First things first, let's get ashes and stuff up out of here. And then we'll come on the inside. We'll brush up grates. We'll get them up out of here. We'll brush both sides of those tuning plates. We'll get them up out of here. And then I'll let you know how much gunk I got at the bottom. Alright, so I got my doors all brushed down. I took my grate out over the top, brushed it down. I'm going to make sure I give that a nice little spray down with some fresh Pam. And remove my tray, which there was a ton of ash that gets behind that after a while. So went in, clean that up, man. Try to have a much more cleaner overall grill so you can get some good clean smokes, good clean fire, and all that stuff don't end up on your meat. So definitely I took the time to brush my walls down a little bit. And what I'm about to do is a final step, not something I do often, but I think it'll be great just to really kind of get some of that extra out of here. Is I got my blower right here. I'm gonna give a quick little blow just to knock a lot of this like little soot stuff that I just knocked down from the top, the sides, and everything down. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a couple shots real quick and blow everything up out of here. We got everything up out of here. Good news is, it wasn't that long ago since I at least got in here and got to the bottom of this. Definitely had lots of grease on my overall grates and the tuning plates, but as you can see, normally sometimes I'll see it can be like a liquid down here. So seeing that it's dry and there's not too much down here, just a little bit in the spout, this will be an easy cleanup. So we're just gonna go ahead and brush everything down in here. I will give it a little bit of a blow. I don't got nothing on the top of my hood, which is good. Too much cake and stuff. We'll go ahead and give the chimney a scrub out a little bit, and then we'll blow everything out of here. I'll let you see what it looks like when it's clean. Okay, we got all the hard work done, brushed all out, pretty much cleaned all out. Don't really need to worry about too much olive oil, or cooking oil or anything like that on here. You can see I got a nice looking sheen in here still. With the amount of oil and grease in here, we still looking pretty good. When I do actually warm this baby up and get it cooking, I'll open that spout out and kind of let whatever I got in there drain out the rest of the way. But we ready to rock. I'm gonna go ahead and I will spray down my grates, and we're gonna go ahead and get everything back in here. Okay, we got grates in here oiled up, even though in the light that almost looks all rusted, but it's all good. Everything in here is oiled up and ready to go. Let's close it all up, and it's time to rinse it off. This baby rinsed off, nice and wet, already looking a hell of a lot better. Them rims ain't been cleaned in a while. We're gonna give them a little love today. I'm coming back over the top real quick. Same thing as everything else. A little bit of that simple green and soapy, and a little bit of that water. Ooh, a little elbow grease. Got my back so. We got this thing cleaned up. Put in a little TLC on these rims. We are overly ashy. Excuse me. We got to rinse this thing off. Get this soap scum up off of here. Dry it off. And you know what time it is. I will bring you back after the dry off and right before the mineral oil. As you can see, we got the nice smooth look overall. One thing I noticed for those that's got a Lone Star, and it's been a while. I mean, I had this thing for a few years now, and I haven't moved from this exact spot. I need to check these tires. I feel like a couple of them felt a little bit low. Let me get a little bit more inflation in there and get a little bit more juice in them. But first, mineral oil and some tire wet. As you can see, we are back. I got this thing down. We got us cleaned up. Plenty of mineral oil on here. You know, the dry spots around the firebox always take in a little bit more, so I'm gonna let it sit extra wet, and then I'll re-hit it again before we actually get it back under the shelf. But she still cleans up nicely at the end of the day. I need to wipe off my nameplate too, but we was able to kind of get all the way around, get some good sheen on it, get this baby sending the reflection back at me. And now we're ready to put some wood on there and actually get ready and get to work. That is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look over our hard work. This took a few days, but we are in the process of opening back the pool, opening back the yard. Time to get my grass green. We got the car wash complete. I am ready for, as you can see, spring season. My garden's over there thriving. Sun's out. 80 plus degrees today. Man, I can't be too mad at it. We got my baby grill here, all iced up. We got the big pellet over here, all cleaned up. That thing is looking amazing. And keep in mind, since we cleaned these up, they've been sitting out here for like the last couple days. So a little bit of dust on them from the initial blowover. But man, you can just see how that mineral oil just helps, really fades into there. Blackstone back there, all primed up. I'm happy because I haven't been on that in a long time. Got me some fresh tanks. Got my banana grill over here, little baby grill, all nice and cleaned up, shiny, looking new again. Cleaned up my table, gave it some love, and my big baby, the Lone Star over here, looking good. Still got a nice, beautiful showroom shine. I got to hit a couple spots, re-wipe this thing down one more time with some of that mineral oil, as I can start to see some of the areas that take in the most, the firebox. Usually I got like a circle right up there, and maybe even on the door that you always see, but it's actually been absorbing in there pretty good. Hit it heavy now, later on it's going to wear off over time. So if nothing else, I just want something to kind of soak in there, stop that from being so ashy, get it back clean, get it back pretty, and get it cool. One thing I will throw out there real quick for all those Lone Star owners and anybody that's got these offset tires, you know, dumb on my part, because guaranteed naturally, you know, you got to get some air in your tires every once in a while, just like if it was your vehicle. But I hadn't put no air in these tires since I got this thing. It's been sitting there, and it was really this tire here that made me kind of look, as I was coming through and cleaning, like, wow, that looks low. And then once I gave them a push, I was able to push on each one of them. My tires were super low based off of the tread and everything. It was saying that I can go up to 30 psi. I mean, I was criminally underrated, more than half. So one thing I definitely notice is, and if you can't tell, these babies is sitting up nice and plump now. So that's going to be something that I make sure that I'll keep an eye on and at least give a check once a year, just to kind of see where they at and everything. And if so, add a little bit, let them hold strong. Other than that,
That's a wrap. We got another one down. I appreciate you checking out the car wash. Everything is clean, Killer Miller Q style. So you know what's left. We got to get something to cook.
Now, as you can see, I'm all ready for the grilling season, even though the real grillers know this. The grilling season never stops. But spring is kicked off. Everything is clean. I'll see you back in less than a week. Big shout out to my family, my boys over there at Black Smoke Barbecue, and you out there in TV land checking me out and always supporting. Peace.